Hello students, welcome to chemistry online class. Okay, in my previous two videos we have discussed about the basic concepts of the organic, inorganic as well as the physical chemistry. Today let me start with the chapter Structure of Atom. This is the second unit in the NCERT textbook. And Ravi sir is going to tell you about the syllabus for the first PUC, means what are the chapters you are going to study in the first PUC chemistry subject. And I am directly starting with the chapter that is Structure of Atom. Okay, and this chapter is of inorganic chemistry. It comes under the inorganic chemistry. It is one of the important chapters in your syllabus. It carries around 11 marks. What is the weightage of this chapter? Total is 11 marks. See, 5 mark, 2 questions are asked. 5 mark, 2 questions. 5 into 2 is 10. And 1 mark, 1 question, that is. So, total weightage of this chapter is 11 marks. Got it? Okay. Then, now let us have a look what are the points we are covering in this chapter, structure of an atom. Okay, see here we are dealing with the discovery of the history of atom and how the discovery of subatomic particles have done. What are subatomic particles? Protons, neutrons, electrons. And we are studying about some of the atomic models, alpha ray scattering experiment, hydrogen spectrum, emission and absorption spectrum, and some calculation part, orbit and orbital, concept of orbit and orbital, and difference between orbit and orbital, orbit and orbital, and diagrams of s, p, d orbitals, and also some rules to write the electronic configuration. Okay, these many points we are covering in this chapter. Okay, it includes the basic things here, so you should concentrate. You are not supposed to miss watching even a single video. Got it? Okay, now let us begin with the chapter Structure of Atom. Okay, now we know that the atom consists of subatomic particles, protons, neutrons and electrons, and proton neutrons will be at the center of the atom and electrons will be continuously revolving around the nucleus. This idea we have now, but in earlier days the people were not knowing that the subatomic particles are present in the atom. Okay, Greek philosophers have believed that the atom is an indivisible particle of the matter. Okay, atom is an indivisible particle of the matter. For example, this is the chalk paste. When you start cutting it, when you start making it a small pieces, okay, ultimately you will get a small fine powder. At the end, if you start cutting that also, at the end you will end with the atom which cannot be cut further. Okay, and it cannot be cut further. They had believed that atom is the ultimate particle, or it is uncuttable particle, or it is indivisible particle of the matter. Greek philosophers have believed it, and they had not shown it with any of the experiment, but it was believed. Okay, and in 1808, scientist John Dalton has shown experimentally, he proved experimentally that atom is the fundamental particle of the matter. Okay, atom cannot be cut further. Actually, atom word itself is derived from the Greek language. Okay, in Greek, atom means atomio. Atom means what? Atomio means what? It is uncuttable. Okay, we cannot cut it further, we cannot divide it further. So they have kept the name atom. Okay, but in 1808, scientist John Dalton have shown experimentally, he proved experimentally, and he proposed the theory. It is well known as Dalton's atomic theory. What does this theory tells us? It tells that atom is an ultimate particle. It is the ultimate particle of the matter. We cannot cut or divide the atom further. And same element have the identical atoms, and different elements have the different atoms in the mass and all. Okay, much about the Dalton's atomic theory we will study in the first unit. That is what sir is starting with. Got it? Okay, now for us that has become history now. But what happened? Okay, it was believed for many years. It was believed that Dalton's atomic theory is because he has proved it experimentally. But what has happened when the new inventions, new studies have done by the scientists? He couldn't able to. He couldn't able to give proof for some of the experiments. Okay, he couldn't able to give proof for some of the experiment. Okay, then scientists have done number of experiments. Okay, and at the end of the 19th century and in the beginning of the 20th century, scientists have told that atom can be divided further into subatomic particles. Atom can be divided further into subatomic particles like protons, neutrons and electrons. Okay, then how that study went on, how they have discovered the proton, neutron, electron, we are studying today. Okay, so let us begin with the discovery of electron. Okay, that experiment name is cathode ray discharge tube experiment. What is the name of the experiment, students? Cathode ray discharge tube experiment. This experiment is done by the scientist Michael Faraday. Okay, this experiment is done by the scientist Michael Faraday. What is the name of this experiment to discover the electron? Cathode ray discharge tube experiment. Okay, now let us study the experimental setup of the cathode ray discharge tube experiment. Okay, see here, one glass tube is taken which has the opening which is further connected to the vacuum pump to adjust the pressure, to maintain the pressure. Okay, and inside this glass tube two thin sheets of metals I have taken. Two thin sheets of metal. This is one sheet of metal. See. Okay, that I have drawn it like this. One sheet of metal, and this is also second sheet of metal. See, this sheet I have made it perforated. Perhaps it has the perforation. Means what? The metal sheet has a holes with it. Okay, so it is called as perforated anode. Perforated anode. Got it? At the back side of this anode, a material is coated inside the tube, that is fluorescent coating. For example, zinc sulfide. Okay, fluorescent material is coated in this. Okay, and these two terminals are further connected to the electric source, that is battery here. Okay, yes, this is the negative and this is the positive. Okay, as this is connected to the negative, it acts as a cathode, and this is connected to the positive, it acts as a anode. Is that clear, students? Okay. Now, how it works? Okay, you can just imagine this cathode ray discharge tube as your tube light. Okay, tube light. Inside the tube light, fluorescent material is coated. Okay, and at both the ends of the tubelets, tubelets are fitted with what? Metals. In the same way, you can imagine this, and that those are further connected to the electric source in our holes, isn't it? The same. This cathode ray discharge tube also is same like a tube light. Hope you can imagine. Okay. Now, what happened? See, first he has taken hydrogen gas in it. What gas he has taken? Hydrogen gas. And he went on changing the pressure by the help of vacuum pump and changing the voltage by the help of this battery. Okay, first he did not observe any changes, but at certain stage, what is that stage? When very low pressure and low pressure and high voltage is applied. Okay, say that when low pressure and high voltage, low pressure of about 0.001 atmospheric pressure and high voltage of 10,000 volt is applied. Hydrogen gas is taken inside. When you remember, when a low pressure and high voltages are applied or maintained, what happened? He found that a kind of rays were traveling from cathode to anode. A kind of rays were traveling from cathode to anode. How did he found that? He did not observe any rays here. He didn't see any rays actually. But what he has done, he has coated the fluorescent material here. Okay, these rays will travel. However, this is the perforated anode. The rays passes through these pores and hit to this fluorescent coating. Then that fluorescent coated part will get illuminated. Okay, it will get illuminated and lighting bರ್ತದೆ. Okay, ಯಾವಾಗ ಕ್ಯಾಥೋಡ್ ಇಂದ ಆನೋಡ್ ಕಡೆಗೆ ರೇಸ್ ಬಂದು ಫ್ಲೋರೋಸೆಂಟ್ ಕೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಇರೋ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವೋ ಅದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಬ್ಲಿಂಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಇಲ್ಯುಮಿನೇಟೆಡ್, ಬೆಳಕು ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಯುವರ್ ಟೆಲಿವಿಷನ್. Okay, in your TV, the TV tube, what we say generally, that is nothing but cathode ray tube. It's a cathode ray discharge tube. TV tube is an example for cathode ray discharge tube. Okay, your TV screen is coated with the fluorescent material. When the cathode rays come and fall on the hit to the TV screen, it will get illuminated and we can see the picture on the TV screen. Like the same way, when the cathode rays come and hit to the fluorescent coating, it has got illuminated. By this way, he given the result that there are the certain rays or some particles which are traveling from cathode to anode, which are moving from cathode to anode, and he named those rays as cathode rays. What are those rays? He named those rays as cathode rays because they have started from cathode and moving towards the anode. Cathode rays. When he could able to check the cathode rays, when he applied low pressure and high voltage. Got it? Okay. Then this is what cathode ray discharge tube experiment. Got it? How the question will be asked, students? Explain cathode ray discharge tube experiment. Or what are the properties of cathode rays? Let me list out what are the properties of the cathode rays. Cathode rays starts from cathode and move towards anode. Cathode rays starts from cathode and move towards anode. Okay, and cathode rays travel in a straight line. Cathode rays travel in a straight line with a high speed. Okay, cathode rays are negatively charged particles called electrons. Cathode rays contain negatively charged particles called electrons. How did he decide it? See, rays coming from cathode rays and moving towards anode. See, anode is positively charged. Some rays are coming with this means what? Some rays are coming towards the anode means what? We know that unlike charges attract each other. Okay, some rays are coming towards the positive sign means what does indicate? Those rays contains the particles of negatively charged. Those negatively charged particles are called as what? Electrons. Cathode rays start from cathode, move towards anode. They travel in a straight line. The absence of applied electric and magnetic field, that will study later. Okay, they travel in a straight line in the absence of applied electric and magnetic field. Okay, and cathode rays are negatively charged particles and they are called as electrons. Got it? Okay, and what did he do later? Hydrogen he had taken. Instead of hydrogen, he has changed this with the many of the different gases. Okay, hydrogen, helium, lithium, oxygen, like that he changed the gas. Okay. And what did he do? He also changed the material taken for electrodes. These metal strips are called as what? Electrodes. Sometime gold, sometime copper, like that he changed. Then what did he found? He didn't observe any changes in the result. Whatever the metal he had taken and whatever the gas he had taken, the cathode rays were flowing. So what is one more property of the cathode ray? The cathode rays do not depend upon the material of the electrode or nature of the gas. The properties of the cathode rays do not depend upon the material of the electrode or nature of the gas. These all are the properties of the cathode rays. Got it? In today's class, we have started with the chapter Structure of Atom. Okay, with the introduction, we have studied the discovery of electron, that is by the cathode ray discharge tube experiment. We have studied the discovery of the electrons and also what are the properties of the cathode rays. Okay, okay. In the next class, we will study what happens if we apply, with the cathode rays are traveling like this, what happens if we apply electric field and magnetic field. External electric field and magnetic to the traveling of cathode rays, and how do they behave in the presence of applied electric and magnetic field. That we will study in the next class. Okay students, here I have listed out some of the properties of the cathode rays. Mark it as important. See, first you write heading as a structure of atom in your notes and write the cathode ray discharge tube experiment for the discovery of the electrons. Then you draw the diagram what I had drawn and write the explanation in your own words how experimental setup is done. In 2 to 3 lines it is more than enough. But what one point to be highlighted there, when low pressure and high voltage is applied, some of the rays were traveling from cathode to anode. Those are negatively charged particles. Got it? See, what are the properties of the cathode rays? They travel in a straight line with a high speed. Okay? And cathode rays consist of negatively charged particles and those particles are called as electrons. Cathode rays themselves are not visible. We cannot see the cathode rays with the bare eyes. Okay, how they are made visible? They are made visible by the fluorescent coating. Next, cathode rays get deflected when external electric and magnetic field is applied. That I will show it in next class. Okay, they will get deflected. They change their direction when external electric and magnetic field is applied. Okay, and 4 points I have written here. We write down the 5th point. The characteristics of cathode rays do not depend upon the nature of the material of the electrode or nature of the gas used in the cathode ray tube. I'll repeat. The characteristics of the cathode rays do not depend upon the material of the electrode or nature of the gas we used in the cathode ray tube. Okay? Yes. We conclude this class today. In the next video, we'll discuss what happens when externally electric and magnetic field is applied to the cathode rays. Okay, students? Keep studying and be safe. Okay? Thank you.